You've heard a lot about drones. Well, you're going to find out more on May 13th at the Drone Fest in Santa Claus. Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS-Inform. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is Aaron Begle. Aaron is the owner and operator of Hele Productions. They are drone operators. Pilots? What do I call you? A pilot?
Pilot.
Okay, a pilot. Aaron, there's a Drone Fest coming up. And I guess, first of all, explain a drone. What is a drone? I know we hear about drone strikes by the military, but those are great big things. But and most people, I think, are thinking of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the hope is that most people will start thinking of this and quit thinking. Drones did get their origins in the military, so that's why most people associate with it. But now, over the past few years, they've really been starting to become commercialized. So people can start using them for business purposes, whether it be inspections, mapping, surveying, video, photo, whatever it may be. That's the direction they're going in now.
Now there is a fest so that you can get people more excited and understanding drones on May 13th at the Hele Park in Santa Claus. How did this originate?
So it actually came together while I was living in Hawaii. I came home to visit, met with a few different individuals with the Visitors Bureau and the Lincoln Boyhood National Memorial, and we thought of this idea about a drone fest, something to help educate the public on what drones are, how they're being used, what are the laws regarding them. So if someone thinks they're being spied on, what are the laws that's protecting the person flying the drone? What's the laws that's protecting the person that thinks they're being spied on? That's some of the reasons that we started the Drone Fest, because there's kind of a lack of knowledge when it comes to drones right now, and to prevent anything bad from happening, we wanted to kind of help educate everyone on what's going on with these.
Now, lack of knowledge, that would be me. So I know you can go and buy these in the store, kind of as a toy. This one, I'm sure, is not a toy, although it looks like a toy because it's small, but the other ones are about that size. Is there a difference between the ones you buy at a big department store and this?
It primarily, there's certain different features that drones have. If you're going to be using it professionally, most of those drones are going to have things like auto hover, GPS locked, where they lock in their GPS position, and then they're going to have safety features to where they can fly back to you, and different things like that. Like this one right here, it's got sensors on the front of it, so if I'm flying it, it'll pick up and it won't let me fly into trees or different things like that. So that's the difference between if you buy like a $1,000 drone versus like a $100 drone or a $50 drone. Those drones are, they're not going to have any of those safety features. They're going to be a little bit harder to fly, and you might wreck those a few times.
Might be a little more frustrating.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a great way for somebody to try and have fun with it.
Right, right. And even if you are looking to fly them professionally, I always tell people to start with a little $50 one, because you can learn the basics of it, and then if you crash it, it's not that big of a deal versus crashing a $1,000 or $2,000 drone.
Now you have a company, Hele Productions, and you lived in Hawaii, but you moved back home, and you have an office in Huntingburg?
Yeah, I work out of 4th Street there on Huntingburg.
What do you do? Why would somebody hire you?
Yeah, okay, so I do, primarily it's video production. So if a production studio is looking to do a video, film a commercial, and they want aerial footage for it, rather than them going through the process of getting the drone, getting the license and the insurance, they'll reach out to me and have me come out, just get the aerial footage for them so they can use that for their stories. And the reason I came back from Hawaii to start doing it here is when I came back home to visit while I was still living out there, I noticed that there was kind of an open market here compared to Hawaii. While I was out there, there was probably about 150 companies like mine that were competing against each other, whereas back here I only have a few competitors right now. I'm sure that number is going to keep rising as drones become more popular, but right now there's not too much competition for me, so I'm pretty lucky.
And people can hire you to, and I know a lot of farmers are using drones too to do different things on their property, but if somebody wants to hire you, they just call you up and say, hey, I need you to fly over this field and check some things out for me, right?
Yeah, for the most part with the production companies I work with, they give me about a week or 2 weeks heads up, but I do have a lot of people that call me up out of the blue, and they're like, because the other side of it is I do photography, aerial photography with it, so I'll take pictures of houses and different things like that. So I have a lot of people that call me up and they're like, hey, I'm having a show for my house, I'm trying to sell my house, can you come out and take a photo of it this afternoon? Like, well, I wish you would have given me a little bit more heads up, but with the way my business runs, I'm usually pretty flexible, so as long as I'm not doing a video shoot, then I can come out and accommodate them.
Okay, now this Drone Fest, which is coming up May 13th, What is the time? And it's at Yellow Park, which is really north of Holiday World on, what road is that?
I believe it's 62.
Yeah, it's 62. Okay. Because I've been there a few times. It's a nice park. What are people going to see? What's going to happen on May 13th? Well, first of all, I guess what time?
Okay, it starts at 10 a.m.
Okay.
The fest itself runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now that's Central Time, so 11 to 5 Eastern Time. Okay. There's a lot of different components going into it. One of the biggest ones is a race. So for the race, we have professional drone racing pilots that are coming in. So I'm not sure if you've ever seen the drone racing on ESPN. Okay, well,
but I can imagine.
Yeah, it's starting to take off, the sport in and of itself. So we have those drone racers coming in from, I think we have racers signed up right now from 5 different states that are coming in for this race. So they're pretty professional. They take it very serious, and there's a whole national league that they're associated with. So it's actually a group out of Louisville called the FPV Race League that's coming up. They're going to be doing the race portion, which that kicks off at 10 a.m. And then we also have different companies. I think right now we have about 7 or 8 different companies from around the tri-state that are using drones for commercial reasons. So whether it be photo and video like I'm using it, or inspections, surveying, agriculture, construction. There's so many different industries. So there's going to be a lot of different companies like that there that are showing off their drones they're using, talking about how they're using them. Even some of them have open positions, so there might be potential job opportunities there. And then there's also going to be groups like 4-H that are there just helping educate, because the 4-H in Spencer County actually has a drone program now, so they're going to be helping educate it. And then there is going to be a little bit of a presence from the military. They're going to be there talking about how they're using those. So the Indiana National Guard will be there. They're working on getting permission to actually fly one of their handheld drones to give a live demonstration of what that looks like. So that should be a pretty cool added element. And then we do have a couple other larger name guests that haven't confirmed yet, so I can't bring those up or say any names, but that's in the works right now. So it's going to be a pretty exciting day.
Is there an admission?
There is not an admission.
So it's free?
No. It's free for the public to come out and enjoy. Like I said, we'll have concessions for people to eat and drink while they're watching the game. They're watching the racing.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll also have some different competitions. So one of them we're doing is a drone golf ball drop. So the people will actually be able to fly a drone and hover it over a target and press a button to release a golf ball. And whoever gets it closest to the target will win.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
All right.
So that should be a lot of fun.
So there's going to be some hands-on for folks that say, I think I want to try this.
Definitely, yeah.
You're prepared for crashes, right? Because you know that.
Well, we're hoping that doesn't happen, but we do have some backup plans in case it does happen. But yeah, the idea is we want to let people experience drones and what they're all about and know the restrictions. And at the same time, anytime someone sees a drone, they're very curious about it and what it's doing. So that's why we want to incorporate that hands-on element to actually let them fly off the drones. Because one of the things I've gotten teaching people how to fly drones, one of the responses I get a lot is they're surprised how easy it is to fly. If you have a drone like this, if you have the $50 drones, they're a little bit harder, but the more professional drones are actually a lot easier to fly than the $50, $100 drones.
And we need to point out that whether it's a $50 drone or thousands of dollar drone, you do need a license.
Right. If you're doing it commercially,
you need to get it registered.
Yeah. If you're doing it recreationally, you have to get it registered with the FAA, which is only like $5. So it's a real cheap process. You do it online. It takes a couple minutes, and you get a little number that you have to put on the drone. And if you're doing it commercially, same thing. You have to register it, but then you also have to get a license. So it's called a remote airman certificate. So that's what I have that allows me to fly commercially. And then they actually, they send you the physical copy. It's basically like having a drone pilot license, like your driver's license.
Now, we're going to have a demonstration here while you're watching 18 WJTS. And so you're going to fly this up over our building. We're going to kind of see how the building looks.
We're going to take a look at it. We're going to try and avoid the tower out there. I know that would be...
Yeah, we got a lot of towers, a lot of wires.
Yeah. So we're going to do something. It should be pretty cool here.
Is this something you did for fun or to get started, or did you go out of high school? Where'd you graduate from?
I graduated from Heritage Hills.
Okay. Did you graduate at Heritage Hills? You say, I'm going to be a drone pilot, or is this someday you just were at the store and thought, I'm going to drive by one of these. This is fun. Now I'm going to be a professional.
Yeah, it was more the second part. I had no plans or intentions. When I went to college at University of Southern Indiana, and when I started college, these commercial drones didn't even exist. So I had no idea what I was going to be doing when I graduated, and ended up graduating with a marketing degree. And then my senior year, I was starting to get into drones. I got my first drone in March of of my senior year right before I was getting ready to graduate. So I was just doing it recreationally. I was wanting to do it commercially, but at the time the FAA's laws were a little bit different, and you actually had to have a private pilot license to do it. So the cost for me to get in was a little bit more than it is now. So once the FAA changed their laws, that's when I went out and got my license and started doing it commercially.
Now back to this Drone Fest again on May 13th. How many people are you thinking are going to show up? Do you have any idea?
It's such a new thing that we don't really have a great idea of it. We're predicting probably around 500 will be the turnout. Because like I said, we have pilots coming in from about a 5-state radius for to fly the drones for the drone race itself. So we're thinking with them coming in, we got a couple other big names that are coming in for it. So we're thinking about 500 people right now. And like I said, it's such a new thing, and we're trying to explain to people that, like, the reason I'm here, because a lot of people, we tell them a drone fest, and they're like, well, what the heck is that? What does that mean?
And this race that's going to happen, this is a real race. Are they heats? Do they race in heats?
Yes.
Is that how they,
yes. Okay. So there'll be 30 racers racing 6 at a time, and they're racing in a figure-8 track. So the way they're racing, like any race, I think the most exciting part is the crashes. So we kind of designed our track, not to encourage crashes, but to make it a little bit more challenging. So if that does happen, it's...
So if somebody comes to this, should they bring a lawn chair, a blanket? Do they need binoculars?
So the way it's set up is they're going to be racing around a baseball field and a little bit through the woods, and there's another baseball field that's right beside it. So that's where the spectators will be able to watch. So yeah, if they want to bring a lawn chair or blankets to sit in the grass and watch it, they can definitely do that. That's also where the booths will be, over on that baseball field, for people to try out drones, talk to different companies that are using drones, that sort of thing.
So what a great idea. It's the first drone fest that I know of.
Yeah.
Especially in this area, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. We were, like I said, the idea came when I came back from Hawaii and was home last October, and it was right before they had the World Drone Racing Championship there in Hawaii, and that attracted racers from 37 different countries to come there to Hawaii. So when I was out there and I saw what they were doing in Hawaii, I was like, well, how cool would it be if we could do this back home in Indiana? So that's kind of some of the motivation for bringing it here. But yeah, coming back here, it's kind of hard to plan because there's not really anything like it that's happened out. The only other one I could think of was Hawaii. I'm sure there's probably some others on the East Coast and West Coast, but as far as the Midwest goes, there's not one anywhere close to us. That's
well, tying in with the Lincoln National Boyhood and the Spencer County Visitor Center and Yellow Park, you're doing that. You're coordinating it well together.
Right.
If somebody wanted more information, I guess the best thing to do would be go to the Visitor Center.
Yeah,
website?
If you go to the visitors website, santaclausindiana.org/Lincoln Land Drone Fest, you can find all the information. You can see our little promo video we put together, and even if there's any racing pilots that might be watching, we still have a couple spots open for the race, so they can go through that and find the registration form for it.
All right, Aaron, it's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, thanks,
we may have to have you do some work for us for WJTS-TV. Thank you for watching WJTS. We have had as our guest Aaron Begle. He is the owner-operator of Hele Productions. They do drone work if you are looking for that sort of thing. And we want to encourage you to show up May 13th at Yellow Park in Spencer County. That's just north of Holiday World for the first ever Drone Fest. Starts at 10 a.m. Central.
10 a.m.
And goes until 4 o'clock Central. Remember, those are Central times. Thank you, Aaron, for coming in.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Hope to see you at the Drone Fest. We are WJTS, local people watching local people.